right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope that if you are logged into this video that you're having an amazing first day of August. You know, it has cooled off here in Concord. We are down to 86 degrees for a high today, so that feels refreshing, and frankly, I think I'm freezing to pieces in my office. But I'm so glad that y'all are ready to join me for a little message here. I wanted to come to y'all live today and just give you some information. I really want to clear the air, because if there is one thing we do in real estate world, it is chat. And there's a lot of chatter going on today. And as you may or may not know, I was deemed ineligible to run for the position of first vice president of the National Association of Realtors for 2025. And while the campaign and credentials and recruiting committee has chosen not to disclose the specific reasons behind their decision to the members, I do believe in transparency. I believe that straight talk is better for us than no talk at all. And I felt compelled to let you know why, because I think that in this organization, y'all are grown-ups and you can absolutely handle the truth. I went through an exhaustive appeal process after a subcommittee of the CCRC, that's the campaign committee's initials, deemed me ineligible based on 5 old social media comments and likes. Now, I appealed this decision to the full committee, which is provided for in the policy manual. That was a special in-person meeting, and I answered every question honestly as I could. I tell the truth. I acknowledge when I've messed up, and I make an effort to do better every single day of my life, and I think y'all know that about me. Now, unfortunately, when the vote was taken, there's a threshold of 2/3 required, and I did not hit the 2/3. And my appeal to the committee was very simple. I believe that we have an amazing duly elected board of directors at the National Association of Realtors, and I felt that they should be the ones to decide which candidate they preferred for first vice president. And I still maintain that position today. I believe that as directors, when you hold that device in your hand, you have a fiduciary obligation to do your research and select the best option. And as it stands today, those duly elected officers do not have a chance to make a choice come next May. Now, I am disappointed in the decision. That's no surprise, but I'm not sour grapes. What I do recognize is that what I do in my day-to-day business is exactly how I look at the governance of any organization. And that's that it's not usually the people that are the problem, it's the process. And this process has a lot of flaws in it. And frankly, y'all should know this is the first time that these scenarios have come into play, and it was the first time that those policies have been exercised. And I do believe there's an opportunity for improvement, because I believe there's always opportunity for improvement. I want y'all to know this, though. And if you hear nothing else that I've said, I need you to know this. I will never stop fighting for the everyday practicing realtor member. I will never stop making sure that your voice is heard. I will never stop trying to find out how I can make you stronger in your communities, what I can do to bolster your confidence and your expertise and your knowledge, because I believe in what we do as realtors, and I know exactly how important we are to our communities. I know that without your help, there's a lot of your neighbors that would never make it through the gauntlet of these complex transactions to home ownership or to business ownership. I will fight with you no matter what. I also want you to know that I will continue fighting for good policy in realtor world. And I don't have to do that from an officer position. I can fight for us as realtors with my relationships with elected officials. And I will keep growing those relationships to make sure that every neighbor and every zip code has a chance at the American dream. And frankly, that they have a chance at their American dream and what it looks like. I believe in what we do, and I believe in who we are. And I won't stop fighting. Because I will tell you that I've seen what real estate does over decades and decades. And what happens in this year is not unique in the way of challenges. It's just a different set of challenges. But I know that it's going to take all hands on deck to make things better. And I've always been willing to roll my sleeves up, or frankly, take them off, I guess, and go to the mat for you, the practicing realtor, and for you, my buyers and sellers, and for you, my neighbors who just dream of your chance to own one day. I'll fight for you, even if I've never met you. But when I meet you, I'll still hug your neck, because I think that's what leadership looks like. And I will tell you what I've told leaders and training sessions and in my day-to-day life and when I work with my nonprofits, true leaders don't stop leading just because the pathway changes. And changing pathways just leads us to new opportunities. I got to tell y'all, my phone's been blowing up today, and text and phone calls and emails, and that outpouring of support from those of you who really were planning to vote for me. I don't even have words for it. I can tell you it's humbling, but I don't know if that's a strong enough word. Some of y'all that tell me you support me are so politically different than me that I thought I was going to have to work really hard, but you've already told me I had already worked hard and that you see me as a colleague and a professional. And I'm grateful, because that means that my actions have spoken over all these years. And I know that when you hear people say that I've failed a character background or a criminal background, that's not true. I've had 2 speeding tickets in my life. That's why I drive at 10 and 2 like a granny. I'm clean. And it's why if you asked about my financial backgrounds, my husband and I have busted our tails over all these years to be financially stable, to have mailbox money and pay for our kids to go to school. And so my financials didn't dredge up anything now or ever. It was 5 old social posts. Is what it is. I accept the place that I'm in right now, but I do know that new pathways always occur. I'm grateful to every one of you who has supported me, who was planning to support me and continues to support me. I'm grateful for my friends who are loyal no matter what's going on in and around us all over the place, because I couldn't make it this far in anything if I didn't have the most amazing support net on the planet. The people who had agreed to be on my campaign team, they are right beside me right this second, and I love them dearly. And frankly, I look at that team of people, I already won because great people had supported me, and that's a good thing for all of us in an organization that has done good and needs to do better, to continually find yourself great people to surround yourself with. I say this without any artifice. I love y'all. I can't wait to keep working for you for the betterment of this association. I can't wait to keep making this association better. And the next iteration, the 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it looks like, I'll be right here involved. I'm not going anywhere. I might be on a different pathway, but I'll be here because this is my industry. This is my profession. This is my chosen life. This is my business. I own a tiny little micro business, and I like to say we are small but mighty. And our association is made up of people just like me. I love working with y'all. I thank you again for the way that you've supported me and will continue to support me. And I thank you for being willing to be my voice to shut down lies as they happen, because this organization has to be better than lies and rumors and gossip. This organization has to decide that it is willing to take the high road, to do better with each other and for each other. And frankly, if somebody messes up, we should be willing to call them out on it, and we should be willing to give them grace to correct it, because I see real estate as a place that we can each make a positive impact. In fact, I had a very interesting policy call with my congressman earlier, and we were talking about some of the changes that are needed in the appraisal side of the profession. That kind of work has to happen, and I will pick up that mantle and keep doing the work. I might be down today. I've cried a few tears, not gonna lie to y'all. This hurts a lot, but hey, things that hurt us hurt, but they make us stronger too. I love getting stronger. I love making you stronger with me. So I hope that you'll keep moving forward together with me. I look forward to the journey ahead. I don't even know what it's going to look like, but boy, howdy, it's going to be something to behold. Now, before I go away, let me just see over here in the comments if there's anything I need to do, anything I need to answer. Let's see. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. So there is a good policy proceeds question here from Wayne. And the reason my name was not listed in the Realtor Hub post this morning is because they did not want to list that they had deemed me ineligible, I think. I'm just guessing here. This is conjecture, so I don't know because I was not asked about the post, but I did not withdraw my name from consideration. It should have stated that the committee had deemed me ineligible, and as it stands right now, my name will not be on the ballot come May. And when there's an opportunity for change, we'll just have to see what that is. And let's see where this is here. I love you guys too. I love my association execs, and I'll keep doing everything I can to make your members stronger, because there's more than one way to lead in life, y'all. And it's not always about the elected position. Lord knows I've already lost twice running for political office, but that wound up being good. I'll point out, it doesn't mean I'm dead in the water. It just means I'll find another way. That's fine. And let's see. I see that. Yes, my good friend here in Concord was asking if they had considered that I personally and financially support nonprofits outside of the realtor space. And Bill, I don't know if that was considered or not, but I will say that there were 0 issues found with me financial. There were 0 issues found criminally or character. What they disqualified me on was 5 tweets. 3 were likes of other people's tweets and 2 were comments on tweets. And that's what that was. And by the way, no complaints were ever filed. I'll just point that out as well. Let's see if there's anything here. And I did delete them, by the way. So when I was told they were deemed offensive, I took them down because I'm not perfect. Let's see. There is not a process for running from the floor currently. We have done a little research on that. It's never happened before. There is a process by which a petition could be created to petition by the directors for me to be on the ballot. We think we're still investigating that. I'm not a lawyer and don't think I'm violating the code of ethics by practicing law when I don't have a law degree. Can y'all imagine what it would be like to listen to me on video if I had a law degree? I'm just going to point out how fun that would be. But we are considering what the options are. We don't know. And it is what it is. So let's see. I do believe one of my most esteemed mentors is over here in the comments, and there are people in this life. I'm going to get choked up. Forgive me for a second. There are people in this life who blazed a trail so that somebody like me could raise my hand. Joanne Poole is one of those people who blazed a trail so that I could raise my hand too. And her hand got put down and my hand has gotten put down, but that does not mean that she is not one of the most esteemed people I will ever know and try to be like. I emulate her every day. But that being said, I will just point out that all of this should belong to the directors. My opinion the whole way through, and my opinion in the appeal process, was that this decision should belong to the directors. Our directors at the National Association of Realtors are they're an amazing body. They are duly elected, and they were all elected by boards of various sizes in all our states and territories, and from our affiliate councils and from our specialty groups. And all of those groups were not represented in this decision by a small body. But again, back to the policy. If we don't like the policy, then we have an obligation to change it. And so if you are a volunteer, then it's time for us to raise our hands and say that this policy needs to be adapted so that, forget Lee Brown, so that future candidates can raise their hands, so that future candidates can have an opportunity to have their voices heard and bring diverse viewpoints to the table. Because if we're going to talk about diversity, we've got to make sure we've got all voices at the table, and we've got to make sure we've got all backgrounds at the table and all types of market and specialties at the table. That's got to be important. And our political diversity is critical too, because if we're going to really do great policy work in the future, we've got to hear from everybody so we can figure out where the common ground is. So I'll leave y'all with this. The most important thing is to address where the policy flaws are. And if there's a human involved, we're not fussing at any humans, because humans do the best they can to make the decisions they think are correct at that time. And humans should have room to change their decisions and change their minds too. I think we should all afford each other that kind of grace. Now, if you have questions about any of this, then please reach out to me directly. Please reach out to any of my campaign team. Please ask anybody, and we will be as transparent with you as possible, because we believe in that. And it is not a criticism of anything but a process. And I will make that very clear. This organization has done amazing work over 100 years. This was the first organization to introduce a code of ethics that is only as good as our willingness to enforce it. This organization is made up of probably the most diverse membership on the planet, over 1.5 million entrepreneurs working in micro markets. The members are amazing. The organization is amazing. Is there opportunity to get better? we should all accept that as a yes. Now, if you are a director or a member, please do share this with your Facebook page, your social media experience. Share this with the directors in your state because they may or may not be aware. Only the ones who are the most glued to this probably caught on to what's been happening in the last couple of hours. And if you do have questions about anything else, please just go back and start over at the beginning of the video. I won't rehash it because y'all are busy and y'all have to get back to your days. But I want to express one more time to anybody who has ever said to me that you wished I would run. I put my name in the hat and I'm proud of that. I am grateful to have the best CEO in realtor world with Andrea Bushnell. I mean, you talk about amazing. I'm so grateful. And Mike Ford, who agreed to chair my campaign after he told everybody on the planet he wasn't chairing any more campaigns, but Mike said yes to me because that's what a loyal friend looks like. And I will never regret what I have learned about the strength of my friends through this process. I'm grateful to everybody who said yes to my campaign team. I'm grateful to everybody who reached out and said you wanted to help. And I told you we couldn't talk about it till August 1st. Well, for those of y'all that were hoping I was going to call you today and let's say, let's get to work, that call's not going to happen. So there will be a different kind of work in the future. And we'll just have to decide we'll do it together because none of this is a one-person show. This is, again, not about Lee Brown. This is a process that needs to be corrected in an organization that has value, amongst members who have value, and amongst people who bring value. So anyway, I love y'all. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Obviously, I'm available. And I want you to consider how you can keep serving in the future. There's always a place for you. There's a place for me. We don't always know what that place is. But as long as I have breath in me and a voice in a room, I'm going to sling a door open and I'm going to bring you into the room with me, especially if you're different from me, especially if your background is not like mine, and especially if we go to fisticuffs because we disagree. That's who I want in the room with me. And so if you've ever felt left out, you call me because there's a space in my office for you. There's a space in my social media for your space in my life for you. And I don't want any of y'all to feel like you have no voice because you do. Our voices might have to come from the bleachers for a minute, but my voice will not be diminished. I appreciate y'all so much.